Which we are. Evening, everybody. Welcome back to 22 Panels and the Heavy Metal Book Club. Um, I'm sorry, I just got an email that made me laugh. I am joined by Matt, Peter, and Dillon Gilbertson, who has a Kickstarter coming up for My Way of Necromancer number 3 at the beginning of next month, and we will talk to him then as well. Um, so yeah, uh,
Kickstarter launch is August 4th.
August 4th. Yes, heavy metal, May 1979. We're going back in time again. Going back in time. Um, what did people think?
This has alien in it, so it's automatically good in my book.
Yeah.
This was another one that proved to me, and I have seen Alien. I haven't seen the other ones, and I know that that's a major
Full
thing that I should fix at some point.
rectify, Tad.
Um, I'm more of a comic guy than a movie guy.
Yeah.
And like again, this shows me why, because I appreciated Alien. I liked Alien. So far, I'm enjoying the comic more. Um, I don't think there's anything that the film really gave that I haven't gotten from the comic kind of in spades. So the biggest question really for me now is um, will I uh, will it continue when it gets to like things that are supposed to be sudden reveals or whatnot? Um,
Yeah, when did Alien come out? The film.
I mean the same time as this.
So like
It would have
it's
been like
possible it's
79.
possible that the movie came out before
It
the
is
comic
possible. I don't
reaches
know for
spoiler
sure.
territory, right?
So um yeah, no, I think, I mean, they got to visit the set, so I assume that they got to at least see the script in full. They might have even seen early. I mean, I think we read about that last
It
month. I
says it
just
came out in
don't remember.
79, but it's not giving me a month.
Right. But again, I mean, they showed us that they got to see
Right.
uh more stuff ahead of time. So they likely got to see all the details. Um
I'm curious. I think we'll know um by the time we get to the chest burster scene, right? Because I think infamously, even the crew did not know the chest burster was going to happen,
okay.
except for John Hurt, obviously, because it came out of his chest.
Right.
But yeah, I think everyone else, like their reaction was genuine in the
Yep.
scene.
They knew something was going to happen, but they did not
Yes.
know it was going to be that.
Right. So if in the comic there is a chest burster that happens in that scene, then we'll know whether they got it from the film or whether just how or when it came out, if it came before or after the movie, maybe we'll have some better indication.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the one scene that I wonder how they could possibly do it in the comic that would do full justice to it.
I mean, you can do anything in
I mean,
comics.
sir,
And comics are magical. You can do
I
anything.
Yep.
agree with you. I agree with you. Um, which is why I actually have great faith that they will. But it's
Yeah,
the one where I don't know immediately. What are you going to do
right.
to replicate that impact or some facsimile of it? Um, so yeah, we will see. But no, I really enjoyed a lot. I mean, I got more, I think I actually got more of a feeling, and we'll talk more of it when we get to the story, but I think I got more of a feeling of the discontent in the crew here than I did in the movie. I knew it was there in the movie. I remembered it as soon as, but that's kind of one of the places where going panel by panel can
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
really drive something home.
It makes a lot more sense that there's this discontent in the crew when you're like reading it and have like more time to
Yeah,
sort
you
of
don't just
personalize
accept this
that.
conversation and move
Right.
on.
So yeah, but we'll get to it soon. The opening 26. Why does it say 26? I don't know. Anyway, is that what they always call it?
No, 26 is, I think that's a reference to the comic number. Could be what they always call it,
Okay.
but
Yeah. But anyway, it disappointed me that we're gonna have to wait on So Beautiful, So Dangerous. Made me laugh that they admitted that to messing up the color again. And then I moved on. And this was a very cool.
That
The,
image
the,
kicked ass.
yeah. Yeah.
I don't fully understand it, and I don't know if I'm meant to, but I like it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's called
Born Again.
Born Again. It's Rick Veitch. I should have, of course, it's Rick Veitch. Um, so it's like, hey, we're in the cosmos and we're holding up Bird's Nest.
Why not?
Naked.
Naked.
I do like that we have multiple different body types: old, young, male, female, fat, thin.
Yeah, everybody's.
But they're all white, so
yeah.
Also, that
I
doesn't.
mean, that's hard to absolutely
I kind
ascertain.
of like how the birds at the top, like they feel very like all the body forms feel fairly realistic, and the birds at the top
Yeah.
look like these weird things out of like
Yeah, are they
or something.
are they supposed to be alien birds? Because they clearly don't look like earthly birds, right?
correct.
I don't know.
Are the birds making them do that? Is that kind of like the real life cordyceps fungus, where it makes an ant go to the top of a tall leaf and then just like perch itself there, so that the fungus can spread itself more effectively? It's like the birds infect their minds, and so they go out and they just hold it up high so the birds can fly better or perch better or whatever. That's what I'm getting out of this.
So the birds can have a mobile nest. Is that what you mean?
Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
We figured it out. It's mobile nest.
Mobile nests. Mobile.
Mobile. And I don't think these nests are fast enough.
Yeah. I loved the cartoon at the bottom of Chainmail.
I thought that was a good cartoon. I liked it.
Yeah.
Also with the not necessarily to be continued.
That was a good little joke there.
And then we move into Sinbad.
Oh, I also like chainmail. Just a note. I thought that was a pretty good. I don't know. I feel like we didn't have one last time or something. But...
Yeah, it was nice to have the. Oh, you mean the image?
Oh, that was fine. I just meant
Oh, you meant the letters?
the letters. Yeah.
I
I don't
thought
know.
they were
I'm
okay.
always amused by the chainmail letters.
Yeah, I am too, but I thought these were mostly just kind of, yeah.
Yeah,
Can
that's
I
true. There was one that what was it? Uh, Dear editors, I was really taken back by the criticism of off-season. I consider the artwork to be truly brilliant. Some people just can't appreciate abstract storylines.
You got me.
I'm one of those people, I guess.
Got me. Yeah. Nailed it.
That's how I felt about
Yeah.
And,
Can I
and,
I'm not
and
saying
then
I loved
there was that
off-season. It was kind of
there was
weird
the
storyline, but
the woman that thought that Orion was disgusting.
Mm, mhm.
Oh, I absolutely thought that was hilarious because it wasn't
That's
even
true.
so much that it felt like it. She thought it was
No,
disgusting.
it was that there were too many clothes on the men.
Yep, exactly.
Can I say that the image on the left, the chainmail image, really just looks like a guy pooping, reading his phone, like going through the
It
chainmail
does.
phone while he's pooping. This
It,
predates cell phones, so it's definitely not
by a
it.
lot.
But like this is definitely what that image looks like. It's almost it
You're not
almost
wrong.
can't be anything else.
Yep, just naked on his phone pooping.
Yeah, pooping. Heavy metal predicts the future once again.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
And then we had Sinbad.
Sinbad.
Good ghouls in this one. Some good
We
ones.
did. And
Yeah,
like
Sinbad was good.
more knowledge of the way he's being haunted and yeah. I like that we find out that one of them is not dead.
Mm-hmm.
Deliver us the mercy. And is this orb thing new? I feel like it's new.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
don't remember
Which
that
one?
orb thing.
The orb.
The
The
orb
blue
thing.
orb.
The blue orb.
The
Oh
light.
yeah, I think that's new. His
It has
globe.
possibilities.
His globe.
Yeah.
It has possibilities and then it's destroyed, so it's no longer has possibilities.
Well,
Apologies.
Yeah,
is it
possibilities.
though?
For the issue.
I guess we'll find out next issue.
I mean, it could be a power of this dude.
Power by the power of the dude.
By the power of the troll.
Yeah. Bismillah.
Apologies. It's not an orb, it's a globe.
Or
I mean, that could be a translation thing.
Mm.
I mean, I did discover, and I actually have it now, and now I really want to do it, and I think Matt Madden's in, so I pitch you guys, you should order from New York Review Books, social, blah, blah, blah. Of course I forgot the name. Um, it's the one that has 1996, only a much better translation.
Right.
And I feel like we need to talk about that at some point because I'm beginning to think that our issues were very much with the translation more than anything else.
Yeah, I don't
Because
know if I
it was supposed to sound like that.
I don't know if I would have ever expected to say this, but I might need to go read 1996 again.
Yeah.
1996. Right. I was like, why are we reading George Orwell? And I was like, that's not George Orwell.
No. All right.
Well, maybe I'll go read 1996. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not going to read the bad translation again.
Right.
No,
No.
definitely not reading that again.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I will probably compare some,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
funny.
but I wouldn't like read it.
Yeah,
What I
I'll
need to do is try to
compare.
find the actual French so that Matt can like talk to us about how it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there is the full interview with Montpellier in the um in the New York Review of Comics, and she makes it really clear, or Montpellier, she makes it really clear that no, she did not see, approve, or like that translation.
Yeah, that's. I remember we had that discussion. I think sometime recently.
Well, because it came up in the Metal Erlant. That was what really threw it on my book and had it in it on my list of things that I wanted. Social fiction is what it's called. It has three of the stories. It's got 1996, Wonder City, and Shelter. Um, but but when I then saw that and Metal Erland, I went, oh, I need to throw this way higher on my list of books to read because I had been thinking I wanted to read it because a lot of people like it and it's got two more stories, so maybe I'll love the other two. And now I'm discovering that what I didn't like about the first story might not have been the author's fault at all.
The senor.
So so that's all the rant I go on when I say that who knows if it's supposed to be a globe or an orb because
True.
they're very similar.
Yeah, that's true.
It's actually a sphere. Spoilers.
It's actually a ball.
A ball. Should have known. Should have known.
Kind of like an
No,
orb.
no,
Specifically a
see,
basketball.
see, Kelly has learned that nothing is balls when you teach
Nothing
teach
is balls.
Art.
Children.
when you teach middle schoolers. It's
Yeah.
all spheres or
Yeah.
orbs. You got to be
If you
careful
say-
with orbs.
Yeah. If you say balls,
But if you say
they'll-
take this
they'll run
ball,
with it. Yeah.
She's not wrong.
Grab the
Oh,
ball.
that's absolutely correct. However, we are talking about heavy metal that seems like it would be the appropriate sense of humor.
that is true. That is
Everything
true.
is balls in heavy metal.
Balls,
Um,
balls, balls. Hey, there was a drink called Balls.
There was
Yeah.
BAWLS. I think I got a Z at the end of it.
I think it did too.
It was not great.
But now we are to the aforementioned alien. And I love this first page.
Yeah, this title alone is fantastic.
Yes.
This is a rather
Probably my favorite panel is that top.
interpretive.
Yeah, just
Wait,
just
right,
the
the
alien
word.
part. Yeah.
Yep.
It's and the waking up out of their cryo is really well.
Mm-hmm.
This
I
just goes to
love-
show how underrated Walt Simonson is.
Oh, I love
No one talks about him. He's brilliant.
Walt Simonson's underrated?
Yeah.
Everybody loves Walt Simonson, I thought.
Yeah,
I mean,
like,
he is. Yeah, but
Right, fair
like
enough.
they talk about him things like Beta Ray Bill, and he doesn't, I think, get enough credit for his art versus craftsmanship.
Yep.
I mean, he's a brilliant craftsman as well,
Mhm.
right? But like his storytelling ability is off the charts,
Yeah.
Off the chart. Absolutely.
you know. And I think he often gets.
Because if you ask
I mean,
someone,
this is
give
a
me your
place
top
where,
10 artists,
where
they'll give you 10 artists.
I
and
mean,
you
this is
say,
one
what
of the
about Walt
places,
Simonson? And they'd be like, oh shit, yeah.
right? But this is also one of those places where like um in the Fourth World Book Club this weekend, the particular issues we read also had some like in the original form and therefore in the um DC Infinite digital copies, they had old Jack Kirby. And I'm reading the old Jack Kirby and I'm like, oh, wait, I can see how his art changed to emphasize speed, but I think he was better as a young artist.
Yeah,
Uh, because, like, as much as people list Kirby as king, he's very formulaic. I don't think Simonson ever falls into that formulaic.
Nope. Agreed.
Does that make
I just-
sense?
It does,
Oh,
100%.
yeah.
And I feel like if Jack Kirby.
I mean, how many people would think to have part of the long cold sleep be 4 panels of an eye opening?
Yep.
you know, laid over an edgeless panel of the, I mean, just the page layout on this page alone
Yep.
is nuts. But then you add in the detail. Every time I read Walt Simonson, I will cop to being somebody who underrates him. I need to go read more Walt Simonson. Why haven't I read more Walt Simonson?
Right.
And I think part
Fair
of
enough.
that is he's like right between those legends that you go back to because you hear about them later
Yep.
and the ones that I literally grew up on. He's the late 70s to mid 80s is like his heyday. He's
Yep.
still doing stuff now, so it's not, I have less excuse but his heyday is literally the era of comics that I know the least about, and the era where I've read more alternative comics than like Marvel DC, which is where he
Right.
was.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. His run on X Factor was amazing.
I haven't read it, but I've heard really good things.
Highly recommended.
Yeah.
I'd also say that part of the a tip to his mastery is that in this Alien comic, he includes Jonesy the cat.
Yeah.
And a lesser adaptation of Alien would have not included Jonesy the cat, who is the most understated character in the entire film,
Mhm.
but one of the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
I mean, I wish he was in these first panels, but he is in the next page, so.
there you go.
Are you serious?
I don't. I
Oh
mean,
no, that's a
you
thumb.
don't.
That's
You
a
don't
thumb.
see him. Yeah, that's a thumb.
No, that's a thumb.
Yeah, yeah.
But you don't take long.
He right
It's on
there.
the third and fifth panel of the next page.
Hmm. Yeah, is a great start to an adaptation of a great film
Mhm.
that may or may not have come out before or just after.
Though they did forget to mention Jonesy the cat and the number of beings that were on the ship.
That's
Probably on purpose.
Maybe.
yeah, kind of like how Kubrick intentionally leaves mistakes in his films, but they're not mistakes. He's just a genius, and you got to deal with it.
Mhm. Exactly.
Well,
He-
it's they're counting it as uh who says beings? It's them that so they're just counting the people, but calling it beings is my guess. So it's
Right.
like a fuck up on the part of,
It's
and
a
I would be willing to
it's
bet one that's in the
foreshadowing.
script.
It's foreshadowing that
It's
the AI and the computers are malfunctioning.
Oh, there you go.
human centric.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
so
Human-centric.
when the
Well,
android goes online,
also the cat, just doesn't count as a being, and that's probably true for later too.
it's pretty fucked up to me.
All right.
No, you know what? It was released May 25th,
The movie,
1979. So,
the movie
When
was.
this came out.
yeah.
So yeah, they literally drew this probably
Well,
3 months
my
before.
question is, sometimes the date is the date they come off the
Hmm.
off the stands. So
Yeah.
my question is when it was actually released. I'm gonna see if I can find that out. You guys can continue talking amongst yourselves while I fall down my rabbit hole. Looks like it actually come out May 1st, 1979. So
Apologies.
this was literally like 3 weeks before you got to see the movie, which makes it a great stopping point. This is like the perfect teaser if you want somebody to,
Yeah.
Why don't they do shit like this nowadays with movies? This is
because
what
they're not smart enough
Hollywood's
to.
missing.
The closest they got is I remember when Aquaman came out, they gave away free, I think they did it with Justice League too. They gave away free Justice League and Aquaman comics at the theater when you
Yeah, but
went.
they weren't an adaptation of the film, were they?
I don't. They might have been actually. I don't know.
I know that they've done a lot of various like prequel comics, but they're always prequel comics. They're not particularly tied to the film. They're only
Yeah.
available at comic shops, so they've got an
Or at the theater when you
incredibly
go.
limited market.
Yeah.
Sometimes they'll have good teams involved, sometimes not. Sometimes those teams will be given some access, and other
Yeah.
times it's pretty clear that
Yeah,
they're
this
not.
this needs to be a new regular thing. It's just like a few weeks or a month maybe before a film comes out. Give us like the first 5, 10 minutes of a film
Well,
and put it in a
and I'll say they should take it another step. Rather than making it something that they're selling, they should be trying to get it in. I mean, since we don't have the analysts the way we used to, they should be trying to get it into Premiere or some other Hollywood movie magazine. Have it be a way to promote the comics and the movies to a movie audience.
100%.
But like that would take an intelligence level that Hollywood executives haven't shown in recent years.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. I would say.
They want to
Also,
reboot
this is
Indiana
originally a
Jones.
comic book magazine. It seems like you'd have to like figure out how to put in like not only a movie magazine but also a comic magazine, right?
Mhm.
I mean, I'd love it to be in both, but I mean, there isn't really a comic magazine right now.
Other than
I mean, it would have been perfect for the old Wizard.
Sure.
Yup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Days of Wizard, this would have been perfect. That would have been the perfect like space in between.
I vaguely remember Wizard, yeah.
100%.
Makes sense.
But and maybe it actually is they should be making it a web release, a free web release that they can. I mean, just because I don't know how magazine sales are either. Maybe it needs to be something that they can like push out ads all over the place for people to click, read the free 8-page. Well done. That's the real key here. It needs to be
Yeah, that's
you
the
want to
issue.
read more of this comic, not just go see this movie. Because I mean, I watched Alien when I had COVID because I was going through and watching a handful of movies that like fell into that category of people were shocked that I hadn't seen them and I was stuck at home and I had nothing better to do. This made me want to watch Alien again. This is the first time I've wanted to watch Alien again since then. This made me actually kind of want to go watch Aliens, even though people have told me over and over it's even better, and I'm like, yeah.
I respectfully disagree, but it is good and you should watch it.
Aliens is a very different movie from Alien.
Yes.
I don't even know if I would like rank them into like the same category. Like
They're
Aliens is
almost,
pretty much a
they're
horror.
almost different genres of the same
Right.
Right.
Right. That's what I was trying to say.
Alien's like a horror movie, and Aliens is like an action movie.
Right.
And it certainly made me want to go read more Alien comics, and that's something that I've never done. So this week, between this and Sarah Gailey's story in Predator: Black, White, and Blood, I have had a yearning for two franchises that I have completely ignored for their entire existence, even though they've been massive things during a time that I was alive. So like arg, and nobody do anything good with Terminator anytime soon because I still haven't
don't
watched
worry,
any
they
of
won't.
those.
Nice. I just remember back in the early 80s, my aunt wouldn't let us watch Alien on HBO because it was too scary.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I mean, it
I
probably
can
would
see
have
that.
scared me, but
I'm not a horror guy. I can see that.
yeah.
But also, I had a high school English teacher, one of my favorite teachers, a dear friend. who used to make a really, really strong delineation between horror and fear.
Yep.
Horror grosses you out. Fear gives you goosebumps without necessarily showing you anything.
I've heard the delineation being horror is being horrified at the present moment, the act of something happening, and fear is the anticipation of something terrible
Right.
happening.
And you
Right.
might not never see it.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
and
and that's what
I
this movie
think
is.
I think Alien is much more of a fear movie
Yeah.
than a strictly horror movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm interested to see the next installment of this one.
Yeah. 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 They
I
keep
did
giving
like
us ongoing things to force us
this
continue
blue and
with the old
red
ones.
little panel here with all the mixed up
Yeah.
letters.
Yeah. That was the brilliant
Thought that
choice for how to
I thought that was a real good way how to work in that strange signal.
Yeah.
a way to show that it's something that you can almost put a way to show that it's not just static.
It feels like you should be able to read it, but you can't.
Right.
That's good.
I think the decision to use actual letters but break them up, make them backwards, that sort of thing, and not in any actual words, except that sometimes they seem like they're almost gonna be a word. Just really well done. Really, really well done. Agree with
Very
that.
much so.
And I like the triptych at the bottom with the looking at the screen and zooming in. You have to look at it from a far distance, smart ass. But
You know what I
yeah.
also love about this? It's the piece of it's taking 22 panels that always work, literally, and using them,
Oh yeah.
but not in a boring or shit way. It's like,
No, I mean I think almost all of these fall into 22 panels.
that's what I'm
Um,
saying.
But what Simonson does a lot of is change the size and positioning of panels to tell the story. I mean, a lot of time, the reason those 22 panels always work is you can do so much storytelling with them.
Yep.
You don't have to go insane. And they don't require specific camera angles or whatever. You can mess the angle up, that sort of thing. Um and it acknowledges that so much of the storytelling in comics is panel placement more than panel composition.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, well, listeners, this is our Alien episode of Heavy Metal.
Yeah.
Well, now we'll go on to the airtight garage, since Peter reminded us that we are on a clock this time. 40 minutes and only 2 stories into the episode.
You know what this one reminds me of? Alien. No.
I mean, it is like the jump scare. Oh no, this isn't the jump scare one.
I
It's
don't
the
think
other
so,
one
yeah.
that's a jump scare.
Oh, sorry for spoiling it for you, yeah, listeners.
Archer, what have you done? I shot down that thing flying from its destiny. But what I can't figure out as I look at this one is did he?
Right.
Because
look like it.
our angle here looks like somehow we caused this big, huge explosion, but the ship's okay.
Or most of the ship is okay. Part of the ship is okay.
Right.
I remember vaguely in a previous episode there being some
There had
flying
been a
machines
different ship flying towards that.
that had been flying towards the Archer in the sky.
Okay.
It's one of those things where because it's just so short, it's really hard to keep up with it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Agreed.
it's short with a lot of installments, is what I mean to say.
Yeah. Anybody
But
read Star Crown? Oh,
Nope.
go ahead.
no, go ahead. I didn't read Star Crown.
Yeah, but were you saying something more about Mobius?
Nah, I don't remember anything more. I don't know
Okay.
where I was going with that.
I will say the pictures in Star Crown were kind of cool.
They work.
They were.
And like
Almost cool enough to make you want to read it.
I kind of remember reading the first part of Star Crown and not thinking it was terrible, but now I haven't read the second or third part, so like I don't know that I'll get back to it anytime soon.
I do like this guy's face that they keep showing in the Star Crown.
Yeah.
Some good pictures.
Yeah. I liked Pluto Cadona.
I like the art of Pluto Cadota and hate the lettering.
Yeah,
It took a
lettering's
moment to get used to because I
absolutely.
feel
I
like the
got used to
lettering
it
is part of
and
the art.
still hated it.
And I get where you're coming from, but I
I
think it's
mean,
part of the art.
I like the story. I like Pluto Cadota. I wish that the lettering didn't. And I get why
Particularly
you're saying
because
that it's part of the art because it's all very angular. It all feels very triangular, right?
well, but what I'm going to say is that the lettering is different in exposition boxes versus when they're talking.
Are we talking about the
So if
David
you look
exposition?
at, well,
Oh,
see, like
yeah.
up top where tomorrow comes first.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, let me rephrase that. When it's in exposition boxes, it's fine. It's just when it's
Right.
they're talking that it's
Well,
always.
but that's why I say that it's part of the art because all of these characters are very angular.
I did not disagreeing with you.
Okay,
I'm just saying I don't
annoyed.
like the text boxes themselves. I don't have necessarily a problem with, right? Like the bubble boxes, the talk bubbles. But the fact that within the talk bubbles that
O's are
they're
triangles and
yeah,
A's aren't crossed.
and their C's are just the little crocodile faces, and their U's are actually V's, and yeah, it's
Except the one place where they messed up. But you.
yeah,
Oh, there's more.
I'm
On the
sure they
last
messed
page,
up a
there's more.
lot. But my point is, like, it made it a lot harder to read all of that than I would have liked.
I don't know.
But as far as it looking nice with everything else that's going on, it's great. I mean, like, it looks like it's part of the comic. It's just, you know, reading it isn't all that fun.
Nope.
It also made me hear it in like a robotic voice. Those two
Probably the
ain't
intent.
never gonna make it. That chiseled head is kind of cute.
Yeah, that didn't do that for me. So,
Ain't nobody leaves Pluto without the boss says okay. Welcome.
I mean, that's fine. I'm glad that you got that voice, but as I said, it
It's
didn't do
fine.
that for me. I mean, also, maybe I speak too soon. Was it supposed to be speak or was it supposed to be spoke? Yeah, it's not till later. Sorry, I was looking at the different page. Yeah, I go further than that. Like at least two more pages. Yeah,
Uh, I mean, it could be either. I do love that I feel kind of spaced. And also the answer to the quiz being neither. He basically just doesn't give a fig.
That was an awesome sound effect for what we're talking about.
Yeah.
awesome sound effect. Yeah, I thought I liked it. I
Yeah.
mean, the lettering just
Yeah, we got to agree to disagree on the.
I am fine with agreeing to disagree on it. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to sell anybody on the fact that this lettering doesn't work for me. I'm just saying it it's one of those things where I completely understand how it works within the comic and how it might add things to the comic. And on the same point, I have to say, like, I just found it really annoying to try and get through.
I mean, we were talking about 1996 earlier.
Right.
And I think that in comics, it's often better to play with fonts than it is to try to mess with dialects to try to get a feel apart across. And I think that's why I like this. I think it would have been really easy to like throw beeps or crackles in or whatnot, but in a way that was actually more distracting than did it for me. And maybe that would be different for different people.
Yeah,
Uh,
to push back and say I'm not like opposed to them using a different sort of and like we'll get to the next comic and I will congratulate them for the same thing I'm like
right.
giving giving crap to right here. And it's not that I'm actually giving crap to them, it's so much as this
It didn't work for
specific
you.
this specific text is hard for me to read. And it's not everywhere, actually. Like, for example, the
Right.
page we're on, it's pretty easy to read. But early
No,
on, when you're cramming so like this text in that smaller space, it's harder. And I think part of it is because you're not actually dealing with a formal text, and like there's various things going on.
I
And I think
absolutely
that's
think
like
that this was,
handwritten, right?
I think it was hand lettered by somebody who isn't necessarily a great letterer
I'm guessing it's
because
the artist.
because it feels a lot like there are things where the balloon was made first
Mhm.
and then the text was crammed into it.
Mhm.
Yeah. And what I would say is if it was a little bit more formal or at least
Right.
like better
But this
Yeah,
lettering,
is
yeah.
this
and
is pre-letterer credits. It's
fair.
probably the artist that did it.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And I'm not dissing on even the artist. I'm just saying like for me it's hard, right?
Oh
Like
yeah. No, no, no.
if
I
somebody
agree.
was to go off and retake these letters and capture the same essence and put it in, like I could see it being improved upon, and that's not me saying that they should do it. It's just me like recognizing that like I don't think the letters themselves are the issue. I'm just again like it's kind of like what you said. They crammed a lot of these things into like small spaces, and then that made it like
Yep.
harder, especially early on in the comic. And then later when like
Yeah, no,
more space for the letter, it worked better, right?
I think where I'll definitely agree is for the most part, and it's hard to tell if that's really what they're trying to do here. There's a couple spots where they're probably talking louder, but for the most part, the only reason to change font size is to emphasize volume. So, like, either they're talking way too quiet in the bar, or there should have been a lot more done to make it more legible. Probably cutting down on what they say to make it fit better, but possibly making some bigger balloons.
Yeah.
Like in this first panel, the two are saying something that matters, and then the other two or the other three are having a conversation that's background. So like leaving those three that size, but bringing the first two that are the conversation that matters to more the size of the spaceship letters or even those space turkeys.
Yeah.
No, not judge,
I would agree with that, right?
Mhm.
would make a massive difference. But again, that's the difference between somebody who thinks about lettering all the time and somebody who's just doing it. And like in terms of people who are artists doing their own lettering, there's a wide gap in how hard they think about their lettering.
Yep.
Right.
Um,
No, that makes perfect sense. And again, I'm not trying to like bash anything. I'm just saying, like for me,
well, and I wasn't. I keep interrupting. Go ahead, finish.
all I was saying was I just, felt like that was kind of like the barrier for me on this. Otherwise, I really did enjoy all the angular and, all the very, very you can see a lot of shape in this, and I think that's like amazing. In how like all the shapes even work together, and like, it's all like very triangular in a lot of ways. And sometimes you have circles and stuff like that, but it's not like it's a kind of a break from natural, because like in natural, like you don't necessarily have like full on circles or anything like that, or full on triangles, but you still have like those triangular shapes and things that you're using. But like it's literally fairly feels like you're getting a lot of those shapes, and that's great. And I felt like the lettering really conveyed that, but I also felt like, again, with some of the spots where the lettering was, there was just trouble reading it, especially when it was like that small, right?
Right, right. And I'm sorry if it came off that I was like, "Oh, you're wrong," because really it was. I was smiling to myself that like the thing that irked you enough that it was one of the first things that you brought up was one of the things that I liked so much that it was going to be one of the things that I brought up first. Um, while we were both actually seeing some of the same things, just having different reactions to it, and that's, I mean, one of the beauties of art in general.
Oh,
Um,
definitely. Agreed.
but let us move on to Entropics, which is actually the story added to this issue. Apparently, it had been sitting around and they hadn't had room for it because of
It's
whatever.
huge.
But
It's
when they
crazy.
didn't get um when they weren't able to do the end of So Beautiful, So Dangerous, that this is what they filled with. And it's fantastic. And I have to look up because I don't know, Matt, did you notice that the visual concepts, which I assume means the art, since it says created and written by Mark Arnold, and then concepts says W. Marshall Rogers. Is that
I would assume that's the art.
no, but is that like the Marshall Rogers from uh Batman fame, or is there a different?
This is W. Marshall Rogers.
Yeah, it is. It is though. William Marshall Roberts III, known professionally as Marshall Rogers, was an American comic artist best known for his work at Marvel and DC. So
Hmm.
yeah, this is the Marshall Rogers,
Mhm.
Interesting.
who also did like later, like post Batman, did an Archie run that's really awesome.
Nice.
Between his Batman this and Archie, he shows himself to be another one of those. And he's definitely one of the great known Bat artists, but like it feels like we maybe should know Marshall Rogers better than we do too.
Probably.
Is because there's some brilliant
So
He did a run on GI Joe
is
too.
he
how long did it
did.
take you all to realize that the mushroom in the corner on that second or third page was actually a character and not just some random mushroom?
Yeah. I clocked. It looks like a face, so I saw the
Yeah.
face. Okay.
I mean, like here it looks like a face, but if you go back to
Yeah.
where it first came in, like go back one page, you'll notice like
Yeah.
here it kind of looks like a face.
Yeah,
I mean, in that second panel, the first panel is just like,
no, the second panel, the first and second panel, that's just a mushroom.
right, exactly.
But it's
And
also
the
a
third
different
panel,
speech bubble.
it is a different speech bubble, and that was what I was gonna say. In this one, I really like how they add the speech bubbles because partially because it helps you contrast all the characters and gets an idea of like which character is which. But I mean,
Yeah.
to your point, I mean, I felt like it emphasized that kind of like the speech bubbles in the last one helped emphasize that comic. So um and then I thought it was kind of funny how the squid guy is just a terrible, evil jerk.
Yeah.
Give them hope and then completely destroy it.
Well, and also I love give them hope and then decide that what is worthwhile from their society is pleasure via the penis.
Yes. Yes. What did they call him?
Hey, don't
Penile
forget
extensors.
the
Yes.
part where the this fairy girl just offers up fellatio.
Yeah.
We go back to that page. Actually, what was frustrating about this page, and it's not frustrating because of how it's set up, it's frustrating because of how it's set up on my tablet. Because
Yeah.
if I had the actual comic, it would have been fine. Like
Well,
they laid it over the center, like these
yeah.
30 images. So it
Yeah.
took me a minute to realize that they were part of the same image.
Well, particularly because this is one of the few scans we've had that all of the two-pagers have had both a two-page and
Spread.
individual pages,
Yep.
and except for
This one.
this spread.
Because it
Right.
could be in error read that way.
Right. So, yeah, no, that makes a huge difference. The anyone for fellatio. I think this is the setting for a nice primal tryst. I wouldn't know, I spore. Well, I'm game. Deucedly aesthetic. You do that well. Just
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, this was a kind of twisted story made all the more fun by really good art.
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
I would agree with that.
Then I thought it was hilarious how Romeo, not that's not actually his name, but this weird romance character who was in love with one of the cat people brings her back to his ship and she dies from asphyxiation.
Yeah.
She can't breathe the same air that he can.
Well, and I think it's interesting that you call it Romeo because I thought that there was a definite Midsummer Night's Dream, a little bit of Twelfth Night, there's definitely a Shakespearean theme to some of the art, if not well, and to the story. Shakespeare was really good
Right.
at having that deceptively cruel story.
For sure.
Yeah, this was a joy and a shame that it took them so long to get it in. And I'm glad that we got to see it finally. Spies on Pluto was also very good.
Yes, it was.
We
Is
read one that was like this, right? It was another spies on something or
I
spy.
feel like maybe.
Because I remember when I started reading this, I was like, I remember this. And then it turned very different than the one I remembered. So, I don't know. At least I thought I remembered this. I don't know if I like
Yeah,
maybe.
I'd have to. I read so many comics that I'm
No,
always
you're
the wrong
perfectly
one to
fine.
ask if we've read something else.
I I am probably in the sort of small compartment of this is most of the comics I read in a month, right?
Right.
So sometimes I don't, but
But
yeah,
you guys all have more lives than I do, so I don't think I'm going out on a limb to say that I probably read more comics in a month than all three of you combined.
Oh, sure.
I
I
think
wish I
that
could
you're
read more.
probably, I mean, yeah, I got nothing.
Ted,
So
do you remember when we read Grimjack and in the back they had Munden's Bar?
Yes,
This feels like
it does,
such a
doesn't it?
yes, and I love it because you got the Michelin Man cameo, you got one
Yeah.
of the
Yeah. I thought
Woody's
it like
guy.
as soon as they said they were going to the bar, even before we got there, I thought Grimjack and I
Yep,
thought about you and I was like, oh, and I don't even have to text him because we're going to talk about it in a couple hours.
yep, loved it. This is a great story.
Yeah.
and then the guy turns out to be an avocado.
Yeah.
Pretty much, that's what it looks like.
Didn't they describe me?
Not a
I
very
also
good
loved
description.
that they thought that Marcel Proust was a sitcom writer, moderately successful in the 20th century. Which, 900 years later is actually like not as
Is that a
like
laughing cow? Oh, there's the Michelin Man.
It's like the
Yeah,
baby bell cow.
what?
It's the baby bell cow or
There
Baybel.
you
yeah,
go.
yeah. But like 900 years later, um
Oh, they also throw in some Arzak in there.
Mm-hmm.
to think of
Arzak's bird
Proust.
looks pissed at him for kissing that girl.
Is
Sorry.
that Tarna? Possibly
I'll,
Tarna?
I'll keep talking over you, Ted. I'll let you go.
No,
What?
no, it's okay. I was just saying, like, if you think of history and how hard it is to keep track of and whatnot, to 900 years after 80s sitcoms, and what 1100 years after actual Proust, to think of him as a 20th century sitcom writer is like actually,
Pretty close.
yeah, it's not as far off the mark. I mean, I have many times said that if Shakespeare had been alive today, he'd be writing television.
Probably.
I don't know that
Or
Proust
movies.
wrote as much for the masses as, and I'm sorry, Proust was 1871 to 1922, so it's only 1,000 years later rather than 1,100 years later. I don't know if Proust wrote as much for the masses as Shakespeare, but it's still like not that far off of like when you're, I mean, I'm certain that we get things way wrong when we're talking about Homer. I mean, we don't even know if Homer is Homer, right? We don't know when the first Arthurian legend was written down,
Oh,
but it was probably about 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, so, and I mean, I think we always think that we keep better records and it will be better in the future, but like we're not far enough in the future from keeping these supposedly better records to be able to say that yet.
that's true.
Gonna be like what was that one comic, the unlike last issue or the issue before that we recorded, where all the data gets erased.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, supposedly the Library of Alexandria was,
Pretty good.
I think that was
yeah.
heavy metal #1.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yes.
Was it a heavy metal number one or metal or lot number one?
I
Yeah.
think it's
Heavy
heavy
metal.
metal number
I think it
one.
was heavy metal too.
So the world of heavy metal is quickly becoming DC Elseworlds versus mainline versus this. There's too many offshoots already. There's
Too
only
many heavy
can't
metals.
keep them straight.
And now we have a proposed architect, which makes 3 consecutive really good one-shot stories.
Yeah.
I dug this one.
Didn't fully grasp it, I don't think. And so I'm open to being swayed by it.
It's fair.
I mean, it's clear from a couple of images that
Clarification,
like,
it was definitely heavy metal #1. Sorry, keep going.
okay, that like uh there's some stuff going on in the world, and it's like having issues, and that's why they'd love an architect. I think they've decided this guy's an architect because he's looking at a building and writing. So these chicken things with masks are very happy because they think he could be saving the world. And they're creating signs. Oh, if he orders cake, he'll definitely be here to save us. Or a cup of coffee, because a cup of coffee is what's brought to him. Um, and since they have trouble lacing boots and his boots are nicely laced up, they're even more certain that he can do the other thing they can't do, which is architecture. But then you get this look at him where he's just writing a grocery list,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and a
that's
weird one at that. 1 dozen handkerchiefs, 6 bowls, medium size.
I don't know. I can see that. That's an interesting story. I mean, like I was reading all this and there was like all this sort of random stuff going on because they talk about like, oh, if you accept like this, I don't remember what it gave me. But like there was some point where it's like, the word seduction, a means of seduction. And like, they go off and talk about how if you accept the cake or coffee, and then if you look later, like in like the background, there's like some sort of fornication going on the next page.
Yeah, there's fornication going on at the angle where you can see the world burning.
Yeah.
Like his little cafe is mostly in good shape. Of course, also here he's not wearing boots.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I was like, why is he not wearing boots for that moment? And it's just
I
that
mean, it
moment
is a
because
reverse
before
angle from
that,
the other.
yeah, before that he's wearing boots, and then after that he's wearing boots.
Right.
Uh,
I mean, almost just they're from a different, because down at the bottom you've got the two pictures that are in different grayscales.
yeah, I mean, like one of them seems like it's during day and the other during night, but is it?
So I almost wonder if they're seeing differently. But then when he leaves, one of them jumps out the window, but all that's found is the mask,
The
iron
mask,
nails,
a
and
piece
black feather.
of, yeah, teak wood.
Um, yeah. So I mean, it's almost like maybe they're from a different dimension and they're
Mhm.
seeing out of it. I don't know. I don't know what this story means, Dylan. So if you're saying it's confusing, I can't help you there.
Fair enough. I'll
It's
take that.
But I thought it looked really cool.
it's interesting, but yeah, if there's
And I
me,
found it entertaining
yeah.
and humorous. I don't know if there's actually any deeper meaning in it, but it like tickles just enough to think about a little bit.
Did anybody else
That's
equate
fair.
the architect or the proposed architect to Abraham Lincoln?
I did not think that.
But I can see it with the
I can
beard and
see
the
it
top
now.
hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
It's not a very good portrayal of Lincoln.
It doesn't seem skinny or tall enough.
Are you
Yeah,
talking about Abraham
I
Lincoln
agree with
Vampire Hunter or regular Abraham Lincoln? Bless you.
that is not one movie that I've watched yet.
No. Read the
me,
book. The book is amazing.
oh, okay.
Oh,
I haven't
I've
read the
seen the
book.
movie. I haven't read the book.
No, the movie was okay, but the book was freaking amazing.
I've heard good things. I just haven't read it yet.
I
Just
don't
like I've
remember
heard
how
good
I
things
missed
about Pride and
good books,
Prejudice and
but
Zombies.
I did see that movie.
I didn't
I don't
even
think
know
I
they'd
read
made a
it.
movie of it.
I also didn't know they made a movie of it.
I thought they made a movie out of it.
They might have. I'm sure. I'm now that we think talking about it. I would be surprised if they didn't.
Yeah, 2016.
Okay.
No shit, I haven't seen that yet.
I vaguely remember seeing it when it came out.
Hey, it's got a 5.8 on IMDb and a 47 on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's got Lena
So
Headey in it.
Oh, it
it's
also has Matt Smith in it.
Yep.
thoroughly okay is what's the consensus seems to be.
That I would believe.
Adding this to my watch list.
You'll have to tell me what you think of it because it's
Oh,
been
I will for sure.
years since I saw it.
Now I need to look at
It
Abraham
just
Lincoln.
reminds me because I think that was the time I was watching movies like that with some friends down in Ashland and weird commentary. I remember like wanting to go see Chappie and convinced my friend to go see Chappie, and that movie was awful. So don't go watch Chappie if you haven't.
So I will say, Matt, for comparison's sake, IMDb has Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter at 5.9, but Rotten Tomatoes has it at 34%. So IMDb likes it a little bit better. Rotten Tomatoes likes it a little bit less. It's still in that thoroughly okay.
Yes.
And Roger Ebert gave it 3 out of 4 stars. Which I don't have an Ebert score for Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
There you go.
So maybe Ebert decided that it wasn't worth watching. I don't know.
Oh,
Maybe
was
just
Chappie that
think that-
boxing movie with the robot?
Wait, what? Chappie?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a boxing movie with a robot.
It's
the
not
fighting robot.
you're thinking of Blue Steel or whatever, Steel or whatever the Hugh Jackman one was with Boxing Robot, the Rock'em Sock'em Robots movie.
Yeah.
Chappie
Hugh Jackman is in this too, though.
Is it?
in
Yeah, he
Chappie?
plays Vincent.
Yeah.
In Chappie? What?
Yes.
That's crazy.
I
See the
forgot
voice?
that he was in Chappie.
To be fair,
But
the only
it's
the only-
artificial and general intelligence law enforcement robot.
the only actors, quote unquote, I remember being in Chappie are Die Antwoord.
Holy shit, he is in that movie. And
Yeah,
he
Hugh
has, like,
Jackman, Dev Patel,
he does
Sigourney
not
Weaver.
anything like a normal. Oh, Sigourney Weaver's in that movie. You
Yeah.
know, this movie was awful, and I'm surprised at how good
Well,
of a
Neil
cast it
Blomkamp
is.
often does good stuff too, doesn't he? Yeah,
It's
he did
getting
District
4.5.
9.
4.5 out of 5 stars.
It got 6.8 out of 10 actually on IMDb.
Yeah, 6.8, but 33% on Rotten Tomatoes. And Roger Ebert gave it 1 out of 4.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah. So just to give you some idea, there are some very, very
Those all fall into the
Right.
category of thoroughly okay.
Yep. Potential cult classic.
Right.
Maybe I should go watch
Right.
it again because I do remember not liking it, but now I'm just curious.
I think anything that falls into that particular range
Mhm.
will have like 25% of the people who watch it want their money back and or leave in the middle and or turn it off when it's on TV, whatever.
It's that
25% of the
third.
people 25% of the people who watch it think it's like the most brilliant thing they've ever seen, and 50% of the people who watch it barely remember that they watched it.
Yes.
There you go.
And I think the only
Yeah.
reason Peter remembers that he watched it is because he convinced people to go see it and then wished he hadn't. It has nothing to, if like everybody
'Cause it
had
was his
decided
call.
to go to the movie,
His pick.
if
Yeah,
it had been the
funny.
general consensus, hey, let's all go see Chappie, if nobody knew who'd picked it out, none of them would remember that they'd seen it.
That is I think I 100% agree with that statement. And Alex, if you are listening to this, though I doubt you are, I still apologize for dragging you to that movie.
This is actually one of the things that our movie club has made me acutely aware of, is that like truly brilliant movies are really rare. Really, really good movies are not.
Mhm.
And there's this huge swath of movies that if they happen to be your thing, you think they're absolutely fucking brilliant.
Mhm.
And somebody thinks they're absolutely fucking terrible.
Garbage. Yep.
Most people are like, eh.
That's fine.
That's like
And
me with
somehow
Naruto.
in our family, we always have that entire.
No, I was actually surprised at this last week when we when I chose the unbearable weight of massive talent, and we actually like most of the time like we have that wide scale. At least there's somebody who's like I was
Yeah,
expecting
we were pretty much all
actually
meh.
like more, I was actually expecting people to like kind of dump on it because I was
Right.
like, it's okay. But like I
Yeah.
was surprised at like how tight it was. I'm
Yeah.
not saying it was good, it was just tight. It was between
Yeah.
5 and 7, and
Yeah.
everybody
We
was
we were very much all in the meh.
like, anyhow, the airtight
Airtight garage.
garage of Jerry Cornelius, part.
This is the one with the jump scare.
And it's pretty wordy.
Mm-hmm.
It is pretty wordy until the jump scare.
I love the jump scare though,
I do too.
because it's just a separate page. I don't know.
But it also
I might choose
it,
that as my favorite image. We'll see.
it's just a separate page, but it raises a lot of questions to me. First, they're the way it's set up. They're describing Gruber or the woman as like the most dangerous thing of all, except that it's almost like Gruber's walking into a TV studio.
Right.
So, what is it saying about the reality of what we've seen?
Don't know.
Do we now have to question which parts were a TV show and which parts were happening in these worlds that we saw? And like I keep thinking about going and reading the whole thing together, but like I don't want to ruin the experience here, and I don't know if I'm going to manage to be able to hold out. Um,
Better hold
I
out.
mean, for multiple reasons. There are so many people who consider this Mobius's masterpiece, and that's hard to see getting it 2 pages at a time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is valid.
I think
Definitely
once
need to read
it's
it all
done,
again.
we should all go.
Yeah,
top
no,
up.
if we manage to hold out long enough, and even if we don't, we should definitely do it all together at some point.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that. Either way.
Because I mean, again, like it's hard enough when you get like 10 to 12 pages per issue, or even 6 to 8 pages per issue to like keep track of like story beat points and whatnot. When you're getting 2 to 5 pages, often split up
Yep.
I
per
kind of love
issue.
this image. I
Oh
don't know
yeah,
if it'll work as well as a t-shirt as the last one did, but it is.
I mean, Kelly would have to work on it because of the cross hatching.
Right.
That would make it harder.
Yeah, I believe that.
I think it would have to be on a light colored t-shirt.
I think you're right.
It just depends if you use bright ink.
Yeah.
You could do bright ink. and a dark
Yeah, maybe. But the cross hatching makes it harder, period.
Mhm.
I believe that.
Absolutely.
It would take some time to read or even simulate
Right.
that cross hatching.
I mean, to a certain extent, at this point, she just prints it onto the transparency.
Yeah.
Because she does silkscreen now. But it's still tight enough that I don't know how well it would turn out.
For sure, for sure.
But you're right, it would make a phenomenal t-shirt.
Yep. Well, this is an excellent airtight garage of Jerry Cornelius. Roger in the Womb is next. Is that right?
I
Yep,
did
didn't
not
read
read
it.
it.
Roger? I didn't read it either.
Too
The
wordy.
name didn't even make it sound interesting.
Yep.
The picture
I don't
didn't do
know.
anything for me because I don't like snakes. And then it was like
Okay,
4
Indiana
pages of
Jones.
words.
That was a joke. Anyhow, no, I thought that Roger and the Moon did sound interesting, but not interesting enough to read. I actually kind of find this picture to be amusing, but that's, I don't have as much problem with snakes, so
Right.
I understand that.
Now,
And
Gray Morrow's 8 Bells.
Oh,
This
I
was
like
fucking
that.
cool.
Mhm.
It was pretty
So
cool.
apparently, am I to understand this is one of 8 different stories?
EB?
That's what I gathered from reading all the context around it.
Hmm.
Like the top here, where they talk about the Chronicles, and then they say our first tale concerns itself with a lovely lady.
Ah,
So I'm hoping that this is
yeah,
one of 8 stories.
that
We
would
get
be
to
great.
see the other ones, but I liked this one.
I mean, because yeah, the art is phenomenal. The story's great. I love I love that um starts out feeling like you've got a femme fatale. They manage to kind of flip the script to make her feel like, oh, maybe she's not quite what we thought she was, and oh, she's going to have this man do stuff for her. And then it flips the script right back when it's like, wait a minute, where'd the ship go?
Hmm.
Yeah, that was great. I think this might be my favorite ongoing because I assume it's ongoing, but it's not really ongoing either. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And I,
No, this is a hard one for favorite story.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I love
I liked
Gilbert
this
in
story.
it.
For that matter, I
Uh,
also liked the pirate like sitting in prison. Oh,
yeah,
how
that was a great
fleeting
ending.
fame.
It was great. I thought it was really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it starts out kind of feeling a little bit more serious, and then it turns pretty funny pretty
I
quickly.
also I loved the implications about where the sensor was held and the you came within an eyelash of finding it. Just
I like
just
that panel a lot. That
That
image,
that
yes.
was
her
that was
face,
great.
her
I love
face in
how
this.
it, yeah,
I don't know. Everything about it, it just feels really well drawn, and I don't know how to put any more specific
Yeah.
uh reviews on it than that.
yeah. No, it was really funny.
Well, and honestly, like going back to the beginning where it says in this story she calls herself Amora, I'm kind of hoping the 8 bells are actually all about her.
With different names.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay, time to ask my friend Google.
Okay, you do that. Um,
As you do that, let's talk about Only Connect lifestyles.
yeah, I
Yeah.
also like how he had the machine that could have detected that there was something on her, and yet it was,
Yep.
you know, the
She
wow.
managed to play him.
Yep,
Yep.
he got played.
He got played.
He got played, and it was great.
Why don't you use your eyes and other things?
Mhm.
The only thing that would have made the within an eyelash of finding it be even better is if it was some sort of reference to, but you're just average size.
Wow. Wow. Yes. Yes, listeners, he went there.
I did. I did. I mean, they can't see the pictures. I got to help them out. Matt generally does that for me, and I get to pretend to be the one without the dirty mind, but he's off his game today.
I am.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There haven't been enough penises this issue.
You
Funny.
had plenty of and plenty of dirty mind commentary. I
Oh,
mean,
Lots of
absolutely.
boobs.
anyhow, only connect lifestyles. Do we have a different only connect before? I feel like that name
I
has.
think we did.
Yeah,
And I
there's
think we
something about
also
it.
got it. I think we got it under a different title in either heavy metal or in metal or lawn, didn't we?
We might have, maybe. I think you might be right about that. I remember having to like go find
Yeah, we said, oh, this is one we've read, only it was called Metal or Lawn, or it was called
something else. Yeah,
Only Connect.
yeah, that's right. I remember that. Because I remember going off and looking those up because I was super curious about it and wanted to make sure that like we had the comparison when we'd actually read them already. But anywho,
Who drew Only Connect?
uh,
Um, I'd have to go back to the beginning.
I got it. Hold on, you stay on that page.
I looked at the beginning. I don't see it.
It's
Oh, you
not.
mean the beginning of the issue?
Yeah, yes, yes.
Sorry.
That's what I meant.
Alias.
Alias. Is that right?
Alias.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
Yep, that's right.
the woman on page 4 or 82 rather looks like it was drawn by Milo Monero.
I do like Monero art.
Oh, I love Monero's work. He's
Yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah. But yeah, this was an interesting story. I mean, it feels like it's like being human is sin, or trying to emulate being human is sin. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after the robots have taken over, they're not gonna. I mean, seriously, our flesh is totally. It's not very effective.
You call that fashion?
Yeah.
Oh man. I I would hope that, if we build robots that supersede us, they would have better
Though
standards.
I do want to point out that in the same issue, we have a group of futuristic alien type species deciding the best thing about humanity is the penis and deriving pleasure from it, and another of
No,
futuristic
no.
robots thinking that
Cat
like
manatee. Be very careful here. Those weren't you. I'm gonna stop now before I get myself in trouble. Anyhow.
right. But then another where it's the skin is bad.
Yeah.
Last day.
I like this one. This
I
was
I
enjoyed
did
it.
too.
It was a great
I
little
thought it
story.
I thought it was funny. The one thing I couldn't figure out was whether it was a situation where the man was having to be retired and his dragon was going to be able to continue without him, or the dragon was being retired and the man, but it didn't matter because they both jumped after the butterfly and failed.
I really like the color in this too.
Yeah, color's good.
Yeah,
But
it is.
I completely that is 100% accurate. I had no idea what the hell the man was talking about when he said.
Mhm.
I mean, it's clear that one of them is retiring, and it's possibly even one of
I'm
them
sure you
is
guys caught this
retiring,
and
and
I
that
missed
means that they
it,
have to die.
but it appears as
Yeah.
though it's because he's praising the dragon that the dragon starts doing what dogs do, which is thumping his tail, and that's how they fell to their death.
Actually, no, yeah, I missed that. Yeah, yeah, they didn't jump off. They thumped the tail. That's
Yeah.
great.
I mean, they didn't jump off. I knew like from the final picture that it had broken, but
Right. That's even funnier.
Yes, it is.
yeah,
Now it's even funnier.
it's great.
So,
Night Angel. Night Angel. Sorry. But no, the colors are so vibrant, and that's
yeah.
well,
Night Angel, the colors aren't quite as vibrant.
no. Night
No,
Angel
but they suit
was
the story.
I thought it was going somewhere, and then I didn't really feel like it went anywhere. So
Yeah.
Right.
that's my opinion of Night Angel.
Night Angel was a wind up and no pitch.
Yep.
Oh, she's gonna come save me. No, wait, she's been corrupted. Never mind.
Yep.
And you can tell she's been corrupted because she's got blemishes on her skin.
Open sores.
Yeah, something like that. This next picture is pretty cool though.
Yes. Yes, it is.
It's interesting.
The story, eh. Did they actually go together?
I
I don't
don't
think
know
so.
if
I don't
these
think
are
so.
related.
Yeah, I don't think they're related.
I didn't
Next
think
story,
they were.
eh. Dancing ball.
Yeah, it's just random. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
it
think
didn't do
that
much for me.
Same.
it's weird. Like it's got some kind of interesting art, I guess. I wouldn't say any of it's like, oh, I did. So on the page 94, and this is totally not related to it, but the image did remind me of Star Wars Episode 7, The Fallen Star Destroyer.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I can see that.
I can see that.
This feels like a rip on Mobius and uh was it Droulet that did Arzak?
Yeah. Well, no, Arzak is all Mobius.
No, I'm talking Droulet. I'm talking about the one Dylan likes.
Lone Sloan. I mean,
Maybe.
the
Yeah.
title
Not
of the
sure which one
particular
this is.
story we read was something else.
Yes.
The Drouet.
Yes, the Droulet.
Yeah,
With that one guy who's
yeah, the one that God hates.
Yeah.
Yes.
The gods hate him.
Yes.
something the mad. I don't remember.
Yeah. What is something the mad?
Well, whatever. I mean, I feel like
Anyway,
the
what were you
artist is
talking
like
about?
is towing a line between the two, doesn't commit to either, and he comes up with this his own unique style, her own unique style, their own unique style.
Yeah, again, it doesn't do a lot for me, but I get where that could come from. Yeah. I mean, I could see that.
It's drawn well.
What I mean by it doesn't do much for me is like the art does something for me. I like the art, but you're absolutely right. The story in general doesn't do much for me, and then it's drawn well, but like it's like they went to a party and that was the whole story.
Yep. It was a fucking great party. Yeah, a fucking great party.
It was a rager, man.
Yeah. Wait till the next one. But it says Finn, so there won't be a next one.
No, you just have to go reread this again, and I'll be the
Right.
next. Sorry, bad jokes.
And a cool painted back cover.
Yeah, the back cover is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But we now have 7 minutes to get Peter out of here. So let's hit it. Best ongoing. I am going to start off and just say Alien.
Same.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go with. Oh, okay.
I'm also gonna
Alien
say
for all of
that.
you guys. I'm gonna go with 8 bells. I do like Alien though.
I mean, I hope Eight Bells is ongoing. So far, I've come up with the existence of one other story that is possibly Eight Bells, and I can't figure out if it's in a heavy metal.
Well,
But
I'm just gonna assume it's ongoing, and if it's
yeah,
not,
that's
I'm
a fair
I'm
assumption.
gonna go back
It
in
is.
time and
Yeah.
kick some butts. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I don't know how to go back in time. That'd be a neat trick, though, wouldn't it?
That's a fair assumption, and it was definitely on my short list.
If you could teach me how, Peter, because there's some comics
Yeah.
going on.
Teach us all how, Peter.
I mean, really, the first
I'll think
key
about
is
it.
go back in time and buy an Action Comics #1 to be able to pay for the time machine.
Right.
There you go.
Hmm.
Okay, it doesn't work.
What doesn't work?
Going back in time to get an Action Comics #1 to pay for the time machine.
Oh yeah. Oh man. So we all chose a favorite ongoing, and now we got favorite
Panel.
one-off.
Now, favorite story, I'm going in Tropics, though it was tough.
Yeah, I think I'll second you on that. It is pretty tough, especially since I really did like that what was it called? Last Day was also really
Yeah.
good, but I'm gonna go with Entropics. as well. Matt,
I
Dylan,
dug spies. I dug Spies on Pluto. I'm sorry.
That was I
why are you
was
sorry? That was a
Because
good one
Tropics was
too.
great.
I thought about going 2 to say Spies on Pluto, but I figured if I did that, I'd want to go 4 to get the architect and the 8 bells in.
Yeah.
So you don't have to apologize to me.
No, I meant I'm sorry, and more of a I like what you guys like, but this one just pulled
Right.
me just enough.
We didn't even mention it at the time, but I'm seeing it again. I love how it turns out that the atmosphere is so thick that he has to go through it with a pickaxe
Yeah.
and then goes into somebody's bedroom instead of
Yeah,
the
so for our
bar.
listeners, their ship lands and he's trying to go out the door of the ship into
Right.
dense atmosphere, and it's like he just smacks into an invisible wall, which I think is a great,
Right.
first of all, great because they take three images that are so closely related to show this. The one where he's
Right.
walking forward, and then the next where he smacks into it. And like the next one he smacks into it, it says bam, and the third one where like there's a crack in this now invisible wall.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then yeah, they're oh, he's gonna use a iron pick to cut through it is the solution. Um,
And then missing the door by like 5 feet is just
Mhm.
brilliant. Assuming that he's going into the bar anyway and finding out he's in some dude's bedroom that he thinks is the kitchen because apparently they have really weird sex habits.
yeah, with frying pans and flapjacks.
Well, no, except that actually, no, it's the frying pan that's talking, isn't it?
Oh, is it
So,
the frying pan?
yeah,
No, it's not.
there are doors, is coming out of the frying pan at the
I thought
bottom.
that was coming out of his voice. You're making me mad. Oh no, okay. I don't know. It could be either way, but
I mean, for that matter, you've got "Ooh, darling, more and more." I mean, I guess that
yeah,
could be from
but
the flapjack. So maybe all three. Maybe it's a three-way.
maybe who
Maybe.
knows? Dylan, favorite story?
You know, I I'm gonna go with architect, I think. I sort of came around on it.
Nice.
Proposed architect. I love how often that happens on this. I feel like I'm normally the one that it happens to, but the like going into the story on air, we're like, I don't know if
Yeah.
I.
Oh,
And by
yeah.
the end of talking about it, it's like, okay, this is my favorite story now.
Mhm.
I remember that happened to Dylan once before with like that weird silver air fighter one. At least I thought
Yes,
that.
I think about that one a lot. We spent like probably 30 minutes talking about like this
Yeah.
3-page wordless comic, and I feel like we were all sort of we didn't I don't think it was just me.
Yeah, no, I
No,
think
the more we looked at it and the more we saw different things.
Yeah.
more we understood it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think
Um,
the case.
I think as many great panels as there are all over the place, I am, and as hard as it is not to take something from Alien, because Simonson did some great, great work there. I am taking the Major Gruber pinup
Yeah, I was gonna take
in
that
the in the
too.
second in the second
The surprise,
yeah.
the jump scare, did we call it that?
Yeah,
What did we
that's
call it?
only because of Alien.
No, I will again, I will second you on that on this issue. Um,
Are you sure you don't like the penile extensors?
Oh, but you're welcome to call that one as
I can
yours.
claim that one for myself.
You can.
yeah, but
I think it's completely defensible. That was such an awesome twist
It was funny.
fucking hilarious.
and
Yeah.
well done.
Yeah.
Particularly like, did you notice that like the third time they appear, the penile extensor ejaculates.
Oh no shit, I didn't notice that.
I did see that, yeah. Or that there was some liquid following it. I assume it's ejaculation.
You see it
Now,
now,
I'm
Matt?
still going with the masthead of Alien, but
Okay.
close second. Close second.
The sproing in particular
Yes.
is, I mean, brilliant.
Yep. The mass head of Alien is a really good one. That's true.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's also 150% defensible.
Yep. And Dylan?
Image.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
either well, so I say image because it's either that the eyelash, the when she's taking off the eyelash,
That was a good one.
Okay.
other panel.
Had a feeling you might bring that one up.
It's either that one or the image of like the water creature that's in the table of contents.
Two very opposite ends of the book. Oh, you mean it's like weird red faced, red
Yeah,
eyes?
this weird wormfish thing. That one.
We
This
didn't
looks
really
like
go
something
over
that someone
that.
would draw in high
Oh,
school.
yeah.
That
They're
one.
bored in math class.
We didn't
And I
talk
dig
about
it.
that one. We didn't talk about the front cover either, but anyhow.
No, we didn't. Anybody?
Um,
I mean, you should talk about this one right now, Dylan, and then maybe we'll talk about the front cover for a minute.
well, so I don't, and I'm also now noticing. Oh, no, I thought that was an arm or a hand. This branch in the front. So there's like this presumably cyborg robot girl, and she's got like a metal dome over her eyes and head and most of her face. And then next to her is like this weird, I don't know if it's an amphibian or if it's a fish, or the mouth is like circular looking. It's got red eyes
Right?
and it's like a white, black, scaly looking thing. It looks really cool.
It does.
Just this little creature thing that's in there.
Michael Gross. I'm assuming it's not the Michael Gross on that was Alex P. Keaton's dad, but like be kind of awesome if it was.
Um, I'm gonna go with this fish monster thing.
Nice. You sure you don't want to go to this episode? I'm just kidding. Anyhow.
Okay.
But we should quickly talk about this is
The
kind of a
alien
weird
man.
cover.
Yeah, it is kind of a weird cover with his cat companion, cat world girl looking companion, and they're on that looks what a vacuum.
Hoverboard.
It looks like a vacuum.
It kind of does.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad I'm not the only one who sees
Well,
it.
particularly looks like a Roomba.
Yeah, a Roomba
Yeah.
that, and it's got the rice and cigarette from Breaking Bad in it.
Yeah.
So, and the Michael Gross, it's a completely different Michael.
It
Gross.
is. It is.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm looking at his Comics Journal interview. But all righty, that's another one in the books. I think our next time meeting is just going to be for June of '79, which I don't have queued up to preview right now, so we'll have to not preview it, and we don't really have time to anyway. But we will get more new content in the next few months as well. So all sorts of heavy metal on 22 panels. Matt, you want to take us out?
And we'll continue after the next page.